go back in time, I tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life.
Hey guys, how you all doing? I hope you're all doing well and I hope you're keeping safe. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In case you're new here, my name is Wanjohi. If you're not new here, thank you for always coming back to watch my videos and supporting me. If you have subscribed, thank you so much. Thank you so much. If you have not yet subscribed, kindly consider subscribing. Just click the button down below written subscribe, and just like that you've subscribed and joined the family. So guys, as you have seen from the title of the video, okay, why am I rapping? As you have seen from the title of this video, we're going to be talking about practicing in the wilderness. Practice in the wilderness. Okay, this is what I mean. You all know what a wilderness is, okay? And in life, all of us, okay, some of us, if not all of us, go through a certain wilderness period, a certain wilderness experience. And a wilderness is a place where, well, it's not a place you really want to be, because when it's hot, it's hot. When it's cold, and you know all that. In the wilderness, there's no food, no shelter. Snakes, scorpions will just be biting you everywhere. Ants. In short, a wilderness is not a place where you would want to live. You'd want to stay forever. Okay, where am I coming up with these accents? Where am I getting these accents from? So, all of us, okay, not all of us, because I know people who have never gone through wildernesses in their lives, and I'm like, thank God, because some of us, my God just decided, you know what? Strongest soldiers list, paid Wanjohi, you're the leader. By 2024, I told God, you know what, Mimi, guy, you're putting me in the baby girl list, because 2024, me just want baby girl treatment. Baby girl treatment. This strongest soldier list. God, I may have done. No, baby girl. But that is not the thing is, practice in the wilderness. When God has put you in that position where nothing is working in your life, everything seems like it's just going haywire. You see what you're supposed to do? Practice it there. Perfect example, all right? There was a time I was in this wilderness. That time I didn't even know. Okay, I have always known there is something me and ministry, but when I started off, I was like, hey God, I'm okay being a pastor's wife, by the way. God, I'm okay being a pastor's wife, but being a pastor, talk to who? Preach to who? No way, not choose someone else, choose someone. But let me tell you, when God took me to that wilderness, I was like, hey God, where? And he gave me the insight, and I knew. At first, I didn't know what was happening, okay? Until my pastor preached about wilderness experiences, and I was like, God, now I understand why I'm here, and I'm gonna use every opportunity. I used to admire preachers. I admire preachers even now, okay? Not all, but some I admire. I have a few that I really look up to. And I remember that time I used to fast a lot. I used to fast and pray a lot. And I used to write sermons. You see, the day I decided, I knew, you know what, this is my calling. And I know, however, one day, one time, I'm going to do this. Guys, imagine I started writing sermons. I didn't know how I was going to preach them, where I was going to preach them, who I was going to talk to about them. But I remember me writing sermons on my notebook. This time I was working. Can you imagine you're working and nothing is working? I used to go to work and I'm like, I was to be miserable. Man, my bishop once preached and said he was a banker, but a miserable banker because he was not in his place of purpose. I was that. I was working but miserable. Hey. I remember that time during my short lunch breaks, I used to go. Others are eating me, I'll just go write a sermon, just write, whatever. And then I used to go home. I used to preach to myself. I used to imagine now it's me preaching to a congregation of people. Guys, let me tell you, I didn't know I was ever. I used to wear my high heels, and I'll take a cooking stick, and I'll preach in the house, and I'll be there preaching a whole sermon, and then go to bed hungry. But I was working. Go to bed hungry. And the next day, do you know sometimes, guys, if I tell you I was fasting a lot, I wasn't fasting, I was starving a lot. I wasn't even fasting. And I was like, no, God, because we don't have food to eat. No, let's assume we are fasting. And we just fast. And I'm telling you guys, I used to practice then. I used to practice then. I used to practice. I read the Bible. That's when I knew how to read too. I got revelations on scriptures. I read the Bible a lot. I used to write a lot. Guys, let me tell you. Do you know how many years later? I think 5 years later. Yeah, 5 years later, I'm preaching those sermons. Imagine, like 5 years later, I'm literally preaching those sermons that I wrote. It's just the other day, I was going through my notebook. I remember there was a time I had gone for my practicum, and I had a very short period of time to have, sometimes the preachers they tell you should be ready in season and out of season. Okay, this is to say, okay, I'm still not yet an ordained pastor, so I don't call myself a pastor. Okay, I am a minister. Okay, for now, I'm not a pastor. I am a minister. But let me tell you guys, when I go to preach, and I see sometimes I look at myself and I'm like, this was me manifesting 5 years ago. I was manifesting this 5 years ago, 4 years ago. I preach in my high heels, and people tell me that me na maringo. It's not maringo. It's, imagine this. It's just me. You say I have maringo. Have you looked at Dr. Medina Pullings? People tell me I preach more like her. Well, it's not maringo, guys. It's just, I don't know. Everybody has their own way. Sometimes I just get myself being fancy and I don't know what and what and what. Sometimes I'm a teacher. I will talk to you and you'll be writing notes and you'll be internalizing and digesting everything I say. Okay. And sometimes I'll be all over the place shouting and but let me tell you guys, I used to practice then when I didn't have any. Guys, if I tell you I didn't have any idea, I didn't have any idea. I just used to write those sermons. I just used to write. And I would be like, God, I know I really don't even want to do this, but because you want me to do this, let me just do this for now. Practice in the wilderness. You see what? When nothing is working, you don't know whether you're coming, going, or gone. Everything you've tried to do is just not working. You see that which you know is your purpose and what you want to do, practice it. Then, when you have all the time. By the time I had all the time to write do everything I could, because I didn't have a job. I wasn't going nowhere. At that time, I used to write. And right now, imagine I refer to some of those sermons, and they're powerful, by the way. And I preach them. I've just had people are working. It's 3 in the night. Where are people coming from 3 in the night? And right now, I preach them, I go through them, and I'm like, wow, man, I wrote this 4 years. I look at my notebook 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 2019, 2020, 2018. I'm like, wow, it's manifesting now. What if I hadn't written then what would have happened? Practice in the wilderness. You see that which you want to do, practice it when you're in that wilderness. You see, like when the moment Jesus was announced, all of us will think, oh, because now Jesus has been announced, this is when he was baptized, and oh, this is my beloved son in whom I'm well pleased. And we all thought, oh, Jesus has been announced. No, it's time for him to perform those miracles, for him to enter into that. The Spirit took him to the wilderness, and he was there for 40 days and 40 nights with no food, no shelter. I can just imagine how it was hot during the day, cold during the night. He didn't have food, no clothes. Maybe he wasn't even showering. But when he was done and the devil appeared, he dealt with that guy like, get behind me. And I want to believe that was the foundation of his workings and his miracles and everything he did to his last day. While he was in the wilderness, he was built to endure, because if he didn't endure it in the wilderness, how could he endure people rejecting him, people abusing him, people not believing in him, if he wasn't used to believing in himself alone? Because when you're in the wilderness, you're alone. You're just you and God. people like this. So I can imagine if he was not used to being alone with God and getting his identity in God and knowing his God and getting his everything in God, will he be able to take in people objecting him, people oppressing him, people rejecting him? Will he? Not really. And I know I can tell you the things I went through in the wilderness, practiced them in the wilderness, that right now, not to brag, but they're a walkover. There are things that other people will go through and they'll come to me. And sometimes I understand why. They'll come to me, oh Faye, I'm going through this, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, that's a very small thing. Like, why should you even let such a thing bother you? That is their level. But you see, because I have already gone through that, dealt with that, learned, and moved on to another season, and I made it, now I know someone else can make it. Okay? That is it for tonight. Now let me sleep because people are distracting me. I don't know where people are going. It's 3, literally it's 3. I don't know where people are going to at night. Okay? Always remember the best, and everything you do, put God first, and you'll never ever, trust me, you'll never ever be disappointed. Bye guys.